Hi everyone, welcome to TOEFL Series 6. In this video, we will continue to learn skill 14 to 17 in the short dialogues of TOEFL. Let's learn together. In this video, there are 4 skills which we are going to learn. The first is skill 14. It's about listening for wishes. The second one is skill 15. It's about listening for untrue conditions. The third one is skill 16. It's about listening for 2 and 3 part verbs. And the last one is skill 17. It's about listening for idioms. Okay, we begin with skill 14, which is listening for wishes. Conversations about wishes can appear in the short dialogues. The important idea to remember about wishes is that a wish implies that the opposite of the wish is true. Ya, jadi harapan ya, ungkapan harapan wishes itu dapat muncul dalam dialog pendek dalam TOEFL. Kemudian hal yang perlu kita ingat betul bahwa wish atau harapan itu menunjukkan bahwa kenyataannya atau the reality dari harapan itu sebenarnya adalah merupakan kebalikan atau lawan, the opposite dari pengharapan atau ungkapan harapan itu. Oke, untuk lebih jelasnya mari kita lihat key information about wishes berikut. Poin yang pertama, an affirmative wish implies a negative reality. Ya, jadi harapan yang afirmatif atau positif itu mengindikasikan kenyataan yang negatif. Contoh, I wish I had time to help. Berarti maknanya bahwa saya tidak punya waktu. Ya, saya tidak punya waktu. I have no time to help. Saya tidak punya waktu untuk membantu. Yang kedua, a negative wish implies an affirmative reality. Harapan yang negatif mengindikasikan kenyataan positif atau afirmatif. Contoh, I wish I did not have time to help. Meaningnya, kenyataannya, realitasnya bahwa I have time to help. Saya memiliki waktu untuk membantu. Lalu poin yang ketiga, a past tense verb implies a present reality. Ya. Kata kerja bentuk 2, past tense, itu mengindikasikan kenyataan present, sekarang. Ya. Contoh, I wish he were at home. Ya, saya harap dia berada di rumah. Nah, kenyataannya, meaningnya bahwa he is not at home. Jangan lupa kaidah bahwa harapan positif kenyataannya negatif. Jadi ini not ya, dia tidak berada di rumah. Tapi karena tadi harapannya wish-nya itu menggunakan past tense verb, ya, kata kerja bentuk kedua, maka kenyataannya realitasnya menjadi present reality, ya. Ditandai dengan to be is. He is not at home. Poin yang keempat, a past perfect tense verb implies a past reality. Ya. Jadi kata kerja bentuk perfect tense, ya, past perfect tense, kata kerja bentuk past perfect tense, ya, ditandai dengan penggunaan auxiliary had, ya, dan verb 3 atau been. Contohnya, I wish he had been at home. I wish he had been at home. Itu menunjukkan, mengindikasikan a past reality, kenyataan lampau. Jadi maknanya adalah he was not at home. Tadi kan pengharapannya adalah I wish he had been at home, maka kenyataannya adalah he was not at home. Ya, had been karena itu past perfect tense menjadi past reality, yaitu was. He was not at home. Untuk lebih jelasnya, mari kita coba lihat latihan soal berikut ini. It's too bad that you have to stay here and work during the school break. I really wish I could go with you and the others to Palm Springs. What does the man mean? Mari kita perhatikan kalimat yang diucapkan oleh the man. I really wish I could go with you and the others to Palm Springs. Saya sungguh berharap ya, saya dapat pergi dengan Anda dan yang lainnya ke Palm Springs. Jadi dia berharap dapat pergi. Artinya apa? Maknanya, realitas ya, bahwa dia tidak dapat pergi ya. Maka jawabannya adalah B. He is unable to go on the trip. Ya, dia tidak dapat, is unable, tidak dapat to go, pergi on the trip, pada perjalanan tersebut.
TOEFL Exercise 14. In this exercise, listen carefully to the short conversation and question in the recording, and then choose the best answer to the question. You should remember that a wish implies an opposite meaning. Number 1.
Do you think we'll be able to get tickets for the concert?
I wish there weren't so many people in line in front of us.
What does the woman mean? Number 2.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you about the parking ticket.
I wish you had told me about it.
What does the man mean? Number 3.
Did you see the work schedule for next week?
I wish I didn't have to work so many hours then.
What does the woman imply? Number 4.
Are you happy with the changes in the requirements for graduation?
I wish the department had not made the changes.
What does the woman mean? Number 5.
Are you going to the theater with us this weekend?
I wish I had enough money to go.
What does the man imply? Number 6.
Nah, berikut ini adalah kunci jawaban untuk exercise skill 14. Silakan Anda cek pekerjaan Anda dan Anda koreksi. Anda mendapatkan benar berapa dan salah berapa. We move to skill 15. It's about listening for untrue conditions. Conversations containing conditions can appear in the short dialogues. The important idea to remember about conditions is that a condition implies that the opposite of the condition is true. Percakapan yang mengandung kondisi ya, dapat muncul dalam dialog pendek pada TOEFL. Hal penting yang perlu kita ingat bahwa kondisi ya, sebuah kondisi menunjukkan bahwa kebalikan atau lawan dari kondisi itu yang benar. Untuk lebih jelasnya, mari kita lihat key information about untrue conditions berikut ini. Sebenarnya hampir mirip dengan wish atau harapan yang kita telah pelajari sebelumnya tadi ya, di skill 14. Bahwa yang poin pertama, an affirmative condition implies a negative reality. Kondisi positif menunjukkan realitas negatif. Contoh, if she were at home, she could do it. Jika dia berada di rumah, dia dapat mengerjakannya, melakukannya. Meaning, artinya bahwa dia tidak berada di rumah dan dia tidak dapat mengerjakannya. Poin kedua, a negative condition implies an affirmative reality. Kondisi negatif menunjukkan kenyataan positif. Contoh, if she were not at home, she could do it. Ya, jika dia tidak berada di rumah, dia dapat melakukannya. Meaning, artinya, maknanya bahwa dia berada di rumah. Dia berada di rumah dan dia berada di rumah tapi dia tidak dapat mengerjakannya ya. Could do it tetap negatif juga. She could not do it. Ya. She cannot do it. Poin yang ketiga, a past tense implies a present reality. Ya. Past tense verb ya, kata kerja bentuk kedua, verb to, menunjukkan, mengindikasikan kenyataan sekarang, present. Ya, contoh, if I had money, I would buy it. Jika saya punya uang, saya akan membelinya. Meaningnya, kenyataannya bahwa I do not have money, so I will not buy it. Ya, saya tidak punya uang saat ini. I do not have money. Poin yang keempat, a past perfect verb implies a past reality. Ya. Kata kerja past perfect ya, had plus verb 3 atau had plus been itu mengindikasikan kenyataan lampau in the past. Contoh, if I had money. Kenapa had-nya ada dua? Had yang pertama itu adalah auxiliary atau kata kerja bantu untuk past perfect. Makanya ada had dulu, lalu diikuti verb 3. Nah, verb 3-nya dari have itu juga had. Makanya sama. If I had money, I would have bought it. Meaningnya, maknanya, realitasnya bahwa I did not have money and I would not buy it. Saya tidak punya uang. Tapi ini in the past reality. Poin yang kelima, ya ini tambahan yang sedikit berbeda bahwa had can be used without if. Jadi ketika kita sudah menggunakan had di awal kalimat conditions ini, maka kita tidak perlu menggunakan if lagi ya. Contoh, had I had money, I would have bought it ya. Kalau tadi kan if I had money, I would buy it ya. Ini if-nya tadi kan if I had money, I would have bought it ya. Untuk yang menggunakan had di depan, maka kita tidak perlu if, dan juga had sebagai auxiliary setelah subjek, setelah I itu sudah tidak perlu juga dituliskan kembali ya. Jadi menjadi had I had money, I would have bought it. Meaningnya, maknanya ya, I did not have money. Oke, begitu penjelasannya. Oke, sekarang kita coba pelajari contoh soal berikut ini. Do you think that you'll be able to go to the party? If I had time, I would go. What does the women say about the party? Mari kita cermati ucapan si wanita tadi. If I had time, jika saya punya waktu, I would go, saya akan pergi. Maka realitasnya, meaningnya, kenyataannya adalah apa? Saya tidak punya waktu ya. I do not have time. I don't have time. I will not go. Jadi jawabannya adalah D. It's impossible to go. Tidak mungkin untuk pergi. D. Dadu.
Exercise 15. In this exercise, listen carefully to the short conversation and question in the recording, and then choose the best answer to the question. You should be particularly careful of untrue conditions. Number 1.
I'm glad I called and told you about the meeting.
If you hadn't called me, I would not have known.
What does the man mean? Number 2.
I always seem to get stopped by the police.
If you drove more slowly, the police would not stop you so often.
What does the woman mean? Number 3.
Do you know that some offices are closed next Friday?
Wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have to work on Friday?
What does the woman mean? Number 4.
I don't think that the letter that I mailed last week arrived.
If you had put enough postage on it, the letter would have arrived.
What does the man mean? Number 5.
Do you have a pet dog?
I would like to have one if it didn't require so much attention.
What does the man mean?
Oke, berikut adalah kunci jawaban untuk exercise skill 15. Silahkan Anda periksa, Anda cocokkan pekerjaan Anda dengan kunci jawaban berikut dan hitung Anda mendapatkan salah berapa dan benar berapa. Okay, we continue to skill 16, which is about listening for 2 and 3 part verbs. 2 and 3 part verbs appear in some questions in the short dialogues. These verbs are expressions that include a verb and one or more particles, such as in, on, or at. The particle changes the meaning of the verb. Questions involving 2 and 3 part verbs can be difficult for students because the addition of the particle changes the meaning of the verb in an idiomatic way. Ya, jadi ada dalam bahasa Inggris itu kata kerja yang terdiri dari 2 dan 3 bagian. Ya. Jadi terdiri dari kata kerja itu sendiri dan tambahan 1 atau lebih partikel, ya, seperti contohnya in, on, atau at. Nah, penambahan partikel itu merubah makna, merubah arti dari kata kerja tersebut, ya, in an idiomatic way. Jadi, ya secara idiomatik tidak ada pattern, pola, rumus untuk memahaminya. Maka kita memang harus menghafal dan memperbanyak vocabulary kosakata kita mengenai 2 and 3 part verbs. Untuk lebih jelasnya, mari kita lihat contoh soal berikut ini. What time does the meeting start? Didn't you hear that it was called off by the director? What does the woman say about the meeting? Mari kita lihat lagi, kita perhatikan baik-baik ucapan dari wanita tadi. Didn't you hear that it was called off by the director? Nah, yang dimaksud wanita tadi adalah the meeting was called off. Nah, apa arti makna called off itu sendiri? Ini merupakan 2 part verb. Called off. Kalau call saja kan artinya memanggil, ya, menelepon dan sebagainya. Tapi kalau called off ada tambahan particle off. Itu artinya maknanya menjadi apa called off itu? Nah, ini juga mengenai meeting, ya, meeting, pertemuan, rapat. Kita juga bisa mengaitkan dengan konteksnya itu. Kira-kira apa jawabannya? Nah, jawabannya adalah D, dadu. The director canceled the meeting. Ya, called off itu artinya membatalkan. Ya. Canceled, membatalkan rapat atau pertemuan tersebut. Nah, oleh karena itu kita betul-betul perlu memperkaya, menambah kosakata vocabulary kita tentang 2 and 3 part verbs. Karena makna dasar dari kata kerja itu akan berubah ketika dia mendapatkan partikel, baik satu partikel ataupun lebih.
TOEFL Exercise 16. In this exercise, listen carefully to the short conversation and question on the tape, and then choose the best answer to the question. You should be particularly careful of 2 and 3 part verbs. Number 1.
The new neighbors have just moved in.
Maybe we should call on them.
According to the woman, what should they do? Number 2.
You know, I'm really enjoying this class now.
I am too. At first it was kind of boring, but now it's turning into something fascinating.
What does the man mean? Number 3.
I heard you had a bad headache this morning.
Yes, but I think I'm getting over it now.
What does the woman mean? Number 4.
I'd like to stop smoking, but it's really hard for me.
Well, at least you should try to cut down.
What does the woman mean? Number 5.
Why was the client unhappy?
The lawyer turned down his case.
What does the woman mean?
Nah, inilah kunci jawaban untuk exercise skill 16. Silahkan Anda periksa hasil jawaban Anda dengan kunci jawaban berikut ini. Dan hitunglah Anda mendapatkan salah berapa dan benar berapa. Finally, we reach skill 17. It's about listening for idioms. Idioms appear in some questions in the short dialogues. Idioms are special expressions in a language that all speakers of the language know. These special expressions describe one situation in life but are applied to many different areas of life. Idiom questions can be difficult for students because they seem to be describing one situation when they are really describing a different situation. Nah, dalam bahasa Indonesia itu, idioms merupakan peribahasa atau bahasa konotasi. Kita menggunakan ungkapan atau kalimat yang maknanya itu berbeda dengan kata-kata dalam kalimat yang kita gunakan untuk mengungkapkan maksud tersebut. Ya seperti layaknya peribahasa dan bahasa konotasi lainnya ya, bukan bahasa yang sebenarnya begitu. Untuk lebih jelasnya kita lanjutkan ke contoh soal. Nah, berikut contoh soalnya. Tom is a full-time student and is holding down a full-time job. He's really burning the candle at both ends. What does the woman say about Tom? Mari kita perhatikan betul kalimat ungkapan yang diucapkan oleh wanita tadi. He's really burning the candle at both ends. Ini merupakan idiom ya. Peribahasa, bahasa konotasi, bukan bahasa yang sebenarnya, tetapi untuk mengungkapkan makna berbeda. Masa dia, si Tom tadi ya, membakar lilin di kedua ujungnya ya. Padahal kan tadi si man, laki-laki itu mengatakan Tom merupakan siswa penuh waktu dan juga bekerja full time, penuh waktu. Apa hubungannya bekerja, menjadi siswa, menjadi pelajar dengan membakar lilin pada kedua ujungnya? Ya. Maka ini merupakan bahasa idiom, bahasa konotasi, peribahasa. Sehingga kita harus mengetahui makna sebenarnya yang dimaksud. Ya, yang dimaksud oleh the speaker itu apa? Nah, jawabannya adalah C. He's doing too much. Maksud yang sebenarnya dari burning the candle at both ends, ya, membakar lilin di kedua ujungnya itu adalah bahwa Tom itu doing too much, ya, melakukan terlalu banyak hal, ya, dia juga belajar full time dan juga bekerja penuh waktu full time. Maka jawabannya adalah C. He's doing too much.
TOEFL Exercise 17. In this exercise, listen carefully to the short conversation and question on the tape, and then choose the best answer to the question. You should be particularly careful of idioms. Number 1.
I was 15 minutes late for class today.
Better late than never.
What does the woman mean? Number 2.
Do you want to work on the biology experiment together?
2 heads are better than 1.
What does the man mean? Number 3.
I really don't want to work on the report now.
There's no time like the present.
What does the woman mean? Number 4.
I just sold the last copy of that book this morning. You'll have to try again next week.
Just my luck.
What does the woman mean? Number 5.
I know you like this restaurant, but I just don't like the food here.
To each his own.
What does the woman mean?
Nah, berikut ini adalah kunci jawaban untuk exercise skill 17. Silahkan Anda koreksi jawaban Anda dengan kunci jawaban berikut ini dan hitunglah Anda mendapatkan benar berapa dan salah berapa. That's all I can say in this video. I hope that you can master all the materials well. Thanks for watching and see you on the next video.